He is a former Western Carolina student athlete who graduated in 2010 with a business administration degree. He is a successful entrepreneur who is impacting hundreds of lives annually as a motivational speaker. He is also an author of a book called Live, Learn, and Lead Powerfully, a team leadership guide, which has made Amazon's #1 new release in teen and young adults category in 2019. He values being a husband, father, teacher, and man of faith. He has a passion towards assisting young adults in creating phenomenal lives for themselves and others. Please put your hands together for Mr. Chaz Jackson.
Thank you. Come on, next, make a little bit more noise in that for me. You guys are so beautiful. I thank you for giving me your eyes and your ears. It means so much that you guys took your time out of your day. I know you guys have a huge and busy schedules to come and fellowship with me and be here with me, so that means so much to me. And also, while we're in the clap and move, let's give it up for Dylan Anderson, Karen Walker, Amanda Maggard, the whole SGA affiliation that helped this come together. So you got to say to be here with you. And let's go through a couple things. So there's 3 things that you're going to get from me out of this speech. Obviously, you see it up here on the board. And also, if I get a little snippy, I got 2 girls, 4-year-old Zuri, 18-month-old Mila. So they kind of gave me a little cold. So if you can't hear me, so Chaz, speak up. If like I said, if I have to stop and blow my nose, just hang in there with me. All right, this nose. This definitely gonna be intentional with everything. Boost morale, keep a member engaged. There's 3 things. I won't teach you anything that I don't believe myself. I'm not going to teach you anything that I have not experienced, okay? I'm not a millionaire yet, okay? So I'm not going to sit here and talk about how to become a millionaire. But I am a successful entrepreneur. I have accomplished a lot of things since I left this campus. And I want to share with you. And one of those things I accomplished was graduate. I graduated with a degree in business administration, also achieved some other accolades as well. So I want to share a lot of that. And also, thirdly, I won't teach anything that I have not lived. I won't teach anything that I have not lived. As you can see, I don't have a PowerPoint going up here or, have any notes. Everything is coming from here. This is stuff that I live and stuff that I do on a daily basis, okay? So I just want to make that a point for each and every one of you to take in. Also, with this information, I'm going to give you guys some new ideas. I'm going to give you guys some long-lasting value. I'm going to give you guys some information that's going to help you build better relationships in whatever avenue that you're going in. But I just want to say, be gentle with yourself with this information. I remember graduating May of 2010. As he mentioned, I was a student athlete. I played football. I took a lot of things with me. One of those things was my appetite. I took that with me. If you're an athlete, do I have any athletes in there? Athletes? Okay. For me, with football, I could go, this building was actually Dawson Cafeteria. A lot of you might not even know that. But I can remember coming here and eating like 4 or 5 plates, easy, easy to eat it. And then, obviously, I could do that because I was, going out, practice, burning hundreds of calories, and I could have those habits, right? I got fuel to be able to get out and do what I needed to do. But I left this campus with that same mentality to eat, so when I left within months, I had gained weight, I grew about 30, 40 pounds easy. And I remember I got a tattoo when I was younger of Chaz, and he's holding dumbbells. Come up to me after I showed it to you. But I remember looking in the mirror one day, and Chaz didn't look so muscular anymore, like he was all blown up. And I knew there had to be a change, so I got a new idea, like I'm going to share. But I can remember being, at that point, I knew what it took to lose weight, so I had a plan together. But I remember like 5 days in, I was sitting on the couch with a meat lover's pizza, slice of pizza in my hand. And I can remember taking that bite. And have you ever been in that situation where you have a goal in your head, a plan, and then you mess up, right? What comes? frustration, sadness, right? Depression. A lot of times, whenever we don't live out what our goals was, which mine was at least go, a month with eating right and working out, Research says 21 days you build a new habit, right? So that was my goal. But obviously I didn't meet that goal at that time, even though internally I knew what to do, but it didn't show externally. Does that make sense? So as I give you this value, some tools and techniques that you can use and apply right now to get yourself on the right path of graduating this university, also get yourself on the right path of going after all your dreams and goals after Western Carolina University. So be gentle with yourself. And one of my favorite quotes by Zig Ziglar, he says, success is not a destination, it is a journey. So each and every one of you are going to go on a journey. You're going to go on a journey with me tonight. And I want to start out by playing a game here, okay? So I want you to get in your mind, someone close to you. And they call you, ring. They call you after this talk, okay? And I want you to get in your mind that you don't have class the rest of the week, okay? You don't have class the rest of the week. So you get this call. And they're so excited. They're like, yo. I just won 4 tickets. I just won 4 tickets to go on a luxurious beach trip. We're going to stay in a millionaire's villa. Everything's included. Housing, food, drinks. All you got to do is pack a bag and come. Who's in here to say that you're going to come on that trip? Who in there going to go on this trip, right? They already have 4 tickets. They have someone that's going with them, and they're saying that you can bring someone else. And I thought I would say a lot more hands. Y'all guys don't want to go on this trip. But for y'all that raise your hand here, so you get off the phone, you're excited, right? You're excited. And then you call that other individual. I want you to get them in your mind. That individual that you would take with you. And you share the information that you want to go on this trip and you want to take them with you. But then it dawned on your mind that you have some things to get done. So then this individual that you chose began to write everything down that you have to get done, whether it's preparing for a test next week, or you gotta wash clothes, you're supposed to go and see a parent, so you have to do all of this stuff. How many of you, being honest, would be able to do everything you can in order to go on this trip to get everything done on your list? Raise your hand. How many of you would take that effort and get everything done as you can? And answer this for me. How many of you will most likely get done more that's on that checklist than what you would do during that whole full week just to go on that trip? And can you be honest with me? I know I would. So what am I getting at with this, you might be saying? With this talk here, the intention that you will have to get things done in that short period of time in order for you to go on that trip, I want you to have that same intention with going through Western Carolina University, with improving your relationships outside of here personally and with others. I want you to have that same intention as you would going on that exotic trip in your actual lives. And I do hope each and every one of you one day get to go on that trip. And if you do, you keep me in the radar, okay? I want to be that person, okay? I want to be that person that you take on the trip with me. But also that makes sense, so I want to build that intention. That's been a powerful word for me this year. And I want you guys to take notes on this, okay? This is our first bullet in boosting morale, keeping members engaged. Is one of the key things that I've learned is loving yourself and valuing yourself. Love and valuing yourself. Have anybody been to New York in here? New Yorkers? Anybody from New York? Yeah? All right, so last November, we went to New York to the Macy's Day Parade. Do we have any band members in here? Shout out, can you make some noise for the WCU band? We went up there to the Macy's Day Parade, me and my wife and my 2 girls and some of my friends, we went up there. You guys rocked it, by the way, for the band members in here. It was a phenomenal show. But on that, we took a plane, so we didn't drive. We took a plane, and what was interesting on there is you know, you have your lady up front, and she's kind of giving you directions of where all the doors is, and she tells you, you know, about your oxygen mask. Have anybody ever on a plane in there? What do they say about that oxygen mask is, before you try to put anyone else's oxygen mask on, you should put yours on first. Why is that? Because throughout that process, what? If you're trying to put someone else's oxygen mask on, you could potentially what? Pass out yourself, and then you'll put yourself and the other individual in jeopardy. That could be an issue, right? So put yours on first before you go and help anyone else. So what do you mean by that, Chaz? Putting your mask on. In order for you to give value, write this down, take notes on this. For you to give value, you have to value yourself. For you to be able to give value to others, you have to be willing to value yourself. That is key. This is the foundation of everything. So this is what I want you to do. Stay locked in with me. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you value yourself? I mean, you don't have to speak out loud. Take a minute and think about that. You know, and think about this. Say if you value yourself a 4 out of 10, right? The value that you're giving in your sport teams, in SGA, student government, do we have SGA in there, right? Being that leader, if you value yourself 4 out of 10, you're only going to be able to engage with other people at that capacity, right? So obviously, if we're moving up, obviously we want to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the icon. The higher up we get, the more we're going to be able to value the relationships that we're building on this campus, in our personal life, in our communities. So that's key. Really keep note of that. How much are you valuing yourself? And for me, there was a point that I was below a 4, where I didn't value myself. And where everything changed for me was in May of 2012. I can remember like it was yesterday. I was awakened to a car horn behind my fiance's car where I had briefly passed out, and I was inches away from a head-on collision, potentially killing myself and killing that individual. So I remember like it was yesterday, me turning the wheel to the right and crashed into a gate, a wooden gate. And at that point, I was arrested on sight. And in my book, Live Underneath Poverty, I talk a lot about that case of 2012 and a lot of things that happened for me to even get to that point. But the transition happened for me in a rehabilitation clinic of that summer, where at that clinic, I learned some good tools to get myself on the right track. And one of the biggest tools that I learned was building an authentic relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I learned that in that clinic authentically. And fast forwarding to February 17, 2020, the journey wasn't easy. And it's still not easy. I've been taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but staying consistent. We're going to talk about that a lot. Being consistent even during the tough times. But here, at this particular moment, standing here in front of you, I haven't had a drink, dealing with alcohol abuse, building up to that point in almost 8 years. I haven't had a drink. And not to say anything is wrong with drinking. I'm sure you guys are on campus and you're having your fun off campus, but be safe. Coming from me, a guy that makes some mistakes with drinking, just be safe with what you're doing, okay? Be really safe. But I'm so proud to have that accolade and to be able to say that I was on the verge of losing my fiance at that moment. Building up to this instance. I was on the verge of losing my home. I had lost my car. I lost my job, you know. And now, standing right here with you today, I will be married for upcoming 7 years in November to that fiance that I was about to lose, and she's sitting right over here to the right. And please, guys, at the end of this, don't even worry about me, but just go up to that woman, because she's been through with me, through the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, she is just a jewel. I would love for you guys, if you could just take some time to make some noise for her and my wife, Amy. So after this, go up, shake her hand, give her a hug, give her a dollar, whatever comes to your heart. You know, whatever your heart leads to, all right? girl, we have 2 beautiful kids. I mentioned Zuri, she's 4, Mila's 18 months. They keep me on my toes all the time, pray for me. Okay? And, you know, fast forward here, I'm a speaker and an author of a book that 2012 Chaz never thought he would do this. And to be able to say that it was on the bestsellers list last year is just phenomenal to me of what God can do. And being a part of a team that's ranked the #1 leadership organization in the world, not just America, but in the world, in the John Maxwell team. I'm a part of that team. Also being a part of the #1 physical therapy organization in the western part of North Carolina, the Southeastern Physical Therapy. I'm so proud to say that I am connected with those group of people who are mentoring me and pouring into me, that I'll be able to give you guys the value that I'm giving to you tonight. And I don't say that stuff to impress you, but just to press upon you what God has done in my life. And also to let you know that we all have our stories, right? I just shared my story. I told you that I won't teach you anything that I have not experienced. And that's part of it. But when we love and value ourselves, we are not afraid of our story. Anybody know who Maya Angelou is? Anybody know who that is? American poet. She said something that's powerful to me that I'm glad to share with you right now. She said, there is no greater agony, agony meaning mental suffering, than the bearing of an untold story inside of you. That's powerful to me. There is no greater agony than the bearing of an untold story inside of you. And what makes it so powerful is, if you know her story, she was raped at the age of 7 years old, where through life circumstances, she did not talk for 5 years. She didn't say a word for 5 years. And what was interesting about Maya is, even though she didn't talk, she developed reading and reading poetry and different authors. And she said in one of her interviews that she read all of the books in the black library that she was in. And she was inspired by a teacher who introduced this information to her. And there was one day where she wrote on a piece of paper that she loves poetry. And her teacher told her this. She told her this. Stay with me. She said, you won't truly love poetry until you speak. And she began to weep. And the rest is history, right? We know her as one of the primal poetry and actors that this world has ever seen. So I want to be that teacher for you guys to know that giving yourself the value of tapping into your story. What is your story? How are you going to impact as a leader on this campus? Whether it's personally, in your relationships with your organization, whatever that case may be, we can plug in any aspects of that, right? How are you going to impact? And I know what you're saying, Chaz, you've been a little hard on me on this. This is critical. This is really critical for us to really tap on. All right? That's why I'm spending a little time with this is loving and valuing ourselves. And I got a couple questions for you that I just want you to answer on your own time. And if you want to share it afterwards, that's perfect. But the first one is there any unforgiveness on my heart that needs to be addressed? Really ask yourself that question. Write that down. And also the second one is, how would forgiving myself and others empower me? How would forgiving myself and others empower me? Those are two marquee questions I want you to ask yourself. Listen to what Marianne Williams says. She says, our deepest fears is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fears is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? I want you guys to shine your light. And I want you to do something for me. If you truly believe that the person sitting next to you is going to make that next step on loving and valuing himself, can you make some noise for me? I want you guys to repeat after me. My mind works with me, not against me. Oh, I know we can do better than that. Yeah, what's up for me? My mind works with me, not against me. Oh, beautiful. I outgrow my problems. I call out problem challenges. I am fulfilled. The best within me shines through. Second bulletin is, we perform at the level of our beliefs the level of our, in regard to boosting our morale, keeping people engaged with us. We perform at the level of our beliefs, not the level of our potential. One of the biggest things as far as beliefs go that is like a crippler for all of our beliefs, right, is doubt. Would you say that? Doubt is like poison. What happens to this water? This is water right now. What happens if I put a drop of poison in this water? Is it water anymore? Oh, it's poison. And just a strand of doubt, erase all doubt. A strand of doubt can be poison to your mind and to everything, your dreams, your goals. You plug in whatever you want to plug in, how that looks. But your beliefs and doubt is like poison. And we can also look at as doubt as being a hole in this water bottle. And let's say if that hole's all the way down here, no matter how many times you fill this water bottle up, the water's going to still drain out, right? And that's how doubt can be to our dreams and our goals, whether that's making this degree, right? Whether that's, building those relationships that's going to take us to get to the next level. I want you to think about a basketball player. Let's say if this guy's 6'5", 275 pounds, if he walks into this room, you automatically think this guy's a good player, right? I mean, this guy's huge. That's our idea, that's his potential. But what if this guy could not dribble a basketball, or he was afraid to make any contact down in the paint? If he didn't believe that he would be able to shoot a free throw, do you see how belief is more critical than potential? It outweighs potential by a million miles. It outweighs it. So I encourage each and every one of you, in order to get that confidence that you need to get you to the next level, you have to erase all doubt. All doubt. And know that you are powerful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. There is greatness inside of each and every one of you. Are you hearing me right now? Each and every one of you. And I see it. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with you, because you guys are going to do some phenomenal things on this campus. You guys are going to do some phenomenal things after this campus, because we're on the journey. We're on the journey. And this is going to be good for you. And there's three qualities. There's three qualities to boosting your morale and keeping people engaged. Write this down. Three qualities, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. The first one is clarity, focus, and consistency. That is key to success, boosting your morale, and keeping people engaged in whatever area you're in. Clarity, focus, and consistency. Right? Clarity. Getting really specific about what you want to do. I mean, when it said, the happiest people I know are those who have clear objectives in mind. The most bored and miserable people that I know don't have no objective in mind. They just wander around aimlessly, not knowing where they want to go. Getting really specific about what you want to do. What is it that's on your vision of going while you're here? What's your vision for your organization? How do you see yourself? I want you to go on a journey with me. Let's fast forward to the graduation day, right? Let's fast forward to your graduation day. That's going to be exciting, right? You're going to have your cap and gown on. You're going to be there with your classmates. Can you see it? I want you guys to close your eyes and visualize this for me. I want you to see yourself. You're ready to walk up the steps and walking across the aisle there and getting your diploma, right? Some of you maybe even do a little dance going across. I don't know how you guys are going to do it. You might do a little dance. And then you're going to be walking down the steps. You're going to walk down the steps. And for some of the ladies, there's going to be flowers waiting on you. You're going to be taking a lot of pictures. You're going to be taking pictures. It's going to be a phenomenal time, right? You guys see it? If you see it, say, yep. All right, man. I noticed everybody getting goals, right? Yep. Everybody goes out to graduate? Some of y'all just trying to hang out, man. I think I'm just going to go to 8-year plan. If you guys want to graduate, say, yeah. All right, man. That's all I want to see, man. So, get that picture in your head, but at that moment, I I want to encourage you to know that that moment doesn't make you a success. It's a recognition, of course. It is a beautiful recognition, but you are a success right now. Get clear on that. You are a success when that alarm goes off and you have to go to class, right? You are a success even if that test grade doesn't turn out the way that you planned it to turn out. You are a success coming here tonight. You are a success right now. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. Yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today is your everything. You are a success right now. If you truly believe you're a success, make some noise for me. Clear on that. Be specific about how you're going to go on your journey. Get really clear on that and focus. You need a season of focus to get to where you want to be. That doesn't mean you don't have to have fun. You don't get college, right? You're going to have activities and things that you want to do. But I'll say 70% of your time need to be laser focused. 70%, okay? Now another 30% you have fun. But 70% to get to where you want to be, you need to be laser focused. And know, what are you saying to yourself? This is some things that I'm focused on. I am confident that my family and friends' lives are being transformed and strengthened by my positive empowerment leadership skills. My enthusiasm towards inspiring and listening to others develops integrity in my life. I am connected and open-minded towards God's people, work, and the many challenges life presents. I am so grateful for all the trust that God's people have in me. My gift of speaking reveals love and joy, peace, and patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control in others. I am focused that I am a good husband. I am a good father. I am a good teacher. And I am a good motivator. My creative skills allows me to be one of the best speakers and therapists in the United States of America and internationally. I am focused on those things. I am focused on those things. So your focus doesn't have to be that broad. Obviously, that's something that I took some time to write down, right? But what are you ultimately focused on? I think I mentioned that I work in physical therapy. Here's a statistic for you. 30% of the people that go to the doctor follow directions. Only 30%. So that means the other percentage only goes to get their acute symptoms taken care of. They're having pain, so they didn't want to get their acute symptoms taken care of. Just so that they can stand what's actually going on. I work with a lady, she's 48 years old, she's coming to me for acute knee pain. And the first visit, when she showed up to me, she said, Chaz, I want to go and get an MRI. I'm in a lot of pain. I want meds. I don't know why the doctor wants to send me to you. So for me, obviously, we want to calm that pain down, right? But ultimately, I wanted to switch her focus to what was causing that pain. Because after some evaluation, we saw that she was having hip pain that was causing her knee to fall in, which until when she was walking, she was putting more pressure on her knee. That was the issue. So you probably like, well, Chad, what does that have to do with me being focused in college? I want you to plug in whatever the case may be, that knee. Obviously, we want to deal with that. Let's plug it in. Let's say unhappiness. Let's make that be the knee pain. Let's say I'm not able to build good relationships. Let's say that I'm sad, I'm frustrated. Let's plug in the knee pain. These are the two questions I want to ask you. Where is your focus when you seem to struggle? Let's plug in grades, like if you're not making the right grades that you think you should be making. Where is your focus when you seem to struggle? Where is your focus when you seem to succeed? When you do succeed? Where's your focus during those times? I challenge you this, write this down. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Does that make sense? And that was one of the things that I had to do, was switch her mind and focus on what she wants, not what she don't want. And also have her look in that position of what was causing the whole issue with the knee. And in your situation, obviously we have to, if we're having issues in those areas, what do we have to focus on to get that area to be one of our top qualities? Meaning if we're not making the grades we need to make, if that's where we're struggling at, then what area in my life do I need to go look at and strengthen? Maybe it's not hanging out all night. Maybe it's, studying an extra hour instead of watching the game. So really think about that consistency. Consistency. John Maxwell says, the signature to excellence is relentless consistency. In my book, Live, Learn, Lead, Powerfully, I talk about your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And for the sake of time, your subconscious is who you really are. 5% of you is your conscious mind. The other 95 is your subconscious. And how do we tap into our subconscious, the short and sweet version, is what we do on a repeated basis. So how does that look for you? How does that look? What are you doing on a consistent basis to get you to your goal of graduating this university? To get you to the goal of being that individual that's who's first in your family to graduate college? Being that individual that's going to go and change lives on this campus, starting even tomorrow for some of them. What are you doing consistent in your life to do that? I can remember in August of 2005, I remember coming on campus, football scholarship. And I'll tell you guys, that was the most pain I ever went through in my life. I'll tell you, on a muscular soreness and just mental fatigue perspective. I can remember just waking up after that first day, and I felt like every part of my body was sore. I mean, even my earlobes were sore. I mean, it was frustrating. I mean, and it really hit home when one of my teammates from high school, he came up here with me. One of my teammates from high school. And he actually left. He called his dad to come pick him up at 12 o'clock that night. And this was like 3 days in. And didn't tell nobody, he left. So, for me, we was accountability, at least I thought anyway, right? And he left. I came up there, I was out of shape. I didn't, I was thinking it was going to be like a little high school training camp, I get in shape along the way. No. Kid Briggs, he was our head coach at the time. He went on, he actually won the state championship with Cherokee High School a couple years back. Matt Rule, are you guys, anybody follow the Carolina Panthers? Matt Rule, he actually recruited me. So these guys, J.L. Collins, he's actually the head coach for Georgia Tech right now. So all these guys, they put together a gruesome plan. And I can remember Ken Briggs saying something that whenever I'm thinking about consistency, this is what I think about. I want to share with you guys. I can remember Ken Briggs, he had this horn, this white horn, he's always wearing this straw hat. And he'll walk around and say, pain is temporary, giving up is forever. Pain is temporary, giving up is forever. And it still is ringing in my head, and I can remember. I'm a pretty dark dude, but I was white. I'm looking at my players, we conversate with each other, man, if you walk off, I'm gonna walk off. But he would always, pain is temporary, get up forever. And that stuck in my head. And you probably like, tell where you're going with this. As you get consistent, I want you to know that anything worthwhile is going uphill. Anybody a runner today? We got any runners? What's the difference in running hills versus just running flat? Like, you get more tired going uphill than if you just run on a flat plane, correct? So there's going to be some pain, right? You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice the things that you almost love to do just to get to where you need to be. However, you can fill in the blank with that. But know that pain is temporary. Anything worth having, you're going to have to go through some pain. It's not going to be comfortable. I challenge you, write this down. Become comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'll say it again. Become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's something that I had to fight through when I was going through that camp, my first camp. I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I didn't make it through, and things got easier after that. But it's always going to be that stage, right? It's always going to be that stage. Become comfortable being uncomfortable. I challenge you guys to do that, okay? I challenge you guys to do that. I want you guys to know this as well. That each and every one of you are on the journey that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You're going to remember for the rest of your life. And I just want to encourage you that whatever actions that you take, to have clarity when you make those actions, to be focused, and to be consistent. Be consistent even during the bad times, because during those bad times, pressure makes diamonds. Pressure makes diamonds. If you truly believe that you're going to be clear on where you're going, take the challenge of being focused and being consistent after this, can you make some noise for me? I want to pick this up. Who wants to try to win a gift card real quick? You know, anybody want to try to win a gift card? Let's see how this goes. Have any of you guys ever done Kahoot before? Let's lock it up. All right. All right, guys. This is a trivia. All right. So let's lock it in. Let me know what everybody's in. Hey, man, if y'all get this shit wrong, I'm just gonna walk out. Who's that? That's you? All right. Good job, good job, good job. How are we doing on time? No, I mean, oh, we're good, we're good. All right, guys, I want you to repeat after me. I live. I live. I learn. I learn. I lead. I lead. Powerfully. I live. I live. I learn. I lead. I lead. Powerfully. One more time. I learn. I lead. I lead. Powerfully. I want you to live, learn, and lead powerfully. And one of the biggest ways is taking the daily challenge of being passionate visionary. This is the mission statement of that book. Taking the daily challenge of being a passionate visionary who is determined to leave a legacy for themselves by adopting unwavering life values and serving others in the area that they live outside. So obviously we're applying values here. That's the mantra that we can spend hours talking about this, but I encourage each and every one of you to live, learn, and lead powerfully. And one of those ways is taking action, right? What are some of the things that keep us from taking action? We don't like to be stretched, right? It's uncomfortable. We talk about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Sometimes we can get caught in conformity, right? Doing what our friends are doing, not willing to stand out. You know, one of the things I call the fear triangle is fear of rejection, right? Fear of the unknown, fear of the unpredictable. A lot of those things keep us from taking action. But I encourage you to have faith. What is faith? Having trust and confidence in yourself or someone that's going to help lead you to that promised land. Meaning for us is graduate West Carolina University. If you want to graduate, we're going to test that again. If you want to graduate, say yep. Yep. I want to get a volunteer. Somebody want to get a volunteer for me? Put you on the hot seat. Can I get one? Can you get one? What's your name, man? Brandon. Brandon. Everybody say, hey, Brandon. Hey. All right, come on, let's go. Thank you, Brandon. All right, man, I'm going to have you sit right here, okay? Let's have a demonstration of faith. So, let's say I have a cup. I have a cup right here. Western, 1-ounce cup. Awesome, right? You guys want to see me pour some water in here, okay? I'm going to bring it like, let's see how others do. All right, I'm going to pour some water in here. All right, Brandon, let me get a sip too. All right, so having faith is you trusting me, right? So what if I say, Brandon, I just pour water in here, but what I'm going to ask you to do is lean your head back, and I'm going to turn this cup up, and there's no water that will be pouring in. Okay? Okay? Nothing's going to come out of this cup. Do you trust me?
I think you might be crazy. If you say it like that, then yeah, I'll trust you.
You trust me? All right, this is active faith, so I need you to tip back. Come on, guys. You guys see me pour water in there, right? So,
all right, I can close my eyes or anything?
You keep your eyes open if the eyes are not, if the lights are
Yeah,
on.
that's good.
You got it? Tell that to wait.
Oh, man, no.
All right, man, give a round of applause. So trusting and believing, having faith that whatever you see or in your vision, whatever your dreams and goals are, your ambitions, having faith that that's going to come to pass. Because there are seasons in life that we have to prepare for. How many seasons do we have? Oh, I thought somebody would say two. I'm like, it's spring, summer, man. It's more than that. What do we have? We have winter. Let's say winter is difficulties, right? Winter is difficulties. And we have spring, which is opportunities. We have summer, which sowing on those opportunities, taking actions. Then we have fall, the reaping. So we have to prepare for all those because, write this down. You cannot change your season, but you can change yourself. You have to prepare for them. They're coming. They're going to be difficult times. There's going to be times where you do not want to go to class. Like, you're just going to wake up and you're going to keep hitting the snooze. It's going to be times. There's going to be times where they ain't going to get tough back home. You know, however that may look. It's going to be times that things get tough back home that you're just not into it. There's going to be times where, you know, mentally and physically, you're not going to be able to support someone. Or even yourself primarily. But pushing through those times, knowing that it's possible for those times to come. And what do? How do we keep taking action? And one of the things that we can do is tapping into our why. Why are we doing this? Why are you here? And that has to be bigger. Listen to me. If you're just doing this for yourself, you just set yourself up for failure. So do this for me. The top five people in your phone. How are they impacting your life? Who are you doing it for? Who back home are you doing this for? Right? Do you have that little brother or sister that's looking up to you? Some of you it might be your first person in your family. Do we have any people like that in here? First person in your family to go to college? Can we make some noise for them? Here's key. If you have a ton of whys, you can do the impossible. What's your why? What drives you? Kevin Durant, who knows who Kevin Durant is? One of his whys is, did anybody know why he wears the number that he wears? But just because he picked that number because that was the year his coach got killed. And that number reminds him, that's one of his whys. I'm an athlete, so I'm throwing off athlete stuff. Ray Lewis wears the number 52 for his mother. Whenever his mother was getting domestic violence done upon her, he was too young to do anything about it. So he had a 52 deck of cards. And what he would do is every time he flip a card, he'd do an actual exercise just to make himself stronger so he could protect his mother. When he wears that number 52, that's why he's one of the best linebackers in the world. He had a why. Now, I know those are pretty graphic whys, but you have to tap into your why because if you're doing it just for yourself, it's going to be easy for you to quit. Does that make sense? In relationships, we're going to get ready to wrap it up here in a little bit. But get in your mind. Some of you guys, can you throw out some quality that you would like to see in your relationships or people that you want to work with, whether that's in the student government or on your athletic teams or just in general? What are some qualities that you would like someone that's around you to have? Can some of you guys give me a couple things? Honesty, beautiful, beautiful. Self-awareness, beautiful. Encouraging, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One more. Dependability, beautiful, beautiful. This is where I'm going to challenge you at. So, get your three. Think about it for a second. Get your three qualities that you would like someone to have. And ask yourself this question. Do I have those three qualities? What I expect from someone else, do I have those qualities? That's key for you to understand because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Write that down. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. And that's key to building healthy relationships. In my book, Live, Learn, Lead, Powerful, I also talk about the 3 B's, meaning being relatable, being predictable, and being exposed. And I want to get 3 more volunteers. You don't have to come up here, but I want you guys to read out some things for me. I work with some middle schoolers, right? And one of the things that I had them do was, on the front of the paper was mask. Meaning, when we come out in public, when you wake up and you come out of your dormitory or your house, whatever the case may be, we all put on a mask of what we want people to see. But also on the back of the sheet I wrote, what is behind the mask? What do we not want people to see? If I get 3 volunteers to read these for me, I'm just going to toss it to you. Okay? I'm trying to get some here. All right, 2 more. 2 more. Good. Oh. All right. Oh. All right, so just open it up. We'll read the mask side first, and then behind the mask. And before you read it out, just tell me your name. Who's going first?
Jacob.
Everybody say, hey, Jacob. All right, Jacob, read what you got on yours.
On the mask side is respectful, athletic, always smiling, happy, and nice.
Good. And what's behind the mask? What's on the back?
Sad, afraid, and stressed.
Okay, okay. Who's going next? What's my lady? What's your name?
Trinity.
Trinity, everybody say, hey, Trinity.
Hey, Trinity.
All right, what you got, Trinity?
Funny, athletic, friendly, and happiness. And then on the back is fear, anger, and sadness.
Okay, last one.
Amanda.
Say, hey, Amanda.
The math says energy, frustration, happiness, smile, and friendly and outgoing. And behind the math says sadness, scared, fear, missing dad, trying to take care of brother.
Okay. Now, these are middle schoolers that kind of perform this technique. Give everybody a round of applause this race. Well, this technique has been done on high schools and college schools as well. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to some of that, right? A lot of our emotions we keep behind closed doors. We put on a smile, right? When we come in front of people. Somebody said, how are you doing? I'm good. And we just kind of walk off. But key to building good relationships and keeping people engaged is becoming authentic. You know, when someone, and I mean, obviously there's those times where you don't have enough time to sit there and just talk about things, but the people that you're trying to build a relationship with, when they ask you how you're doing, really let them know how you're doing, right? Man, I'm not studying for a test. I'm really stressed about it. Or, man, there's something going on back home. My wife's not doing too well. That's how we build relationships. That's how we build an authentic relationship, keeping people engaged, letting people know that you're human. Because a lot of times, in my book, I talk about 12 different roles that we, as individuals, play on a daily basis. One of them is a unique role, right? We think that everything that's going on in our life is unique. We're the only people that's going through these things. But ideally, we all have similar stories. We all can be relatable. We all can help each other grow and prosper to the next point in life, right? So you open it up, and once you do hear those things, going back to that, hey, Jim, hey, how's your aunt doing? She doing okay? That's how you build relationships. That's how you build relationships. Simon Sinek picked on the millennials. He said there's 2 things that millennials don't do very well. And one of those things is build relationships, because, you know, we live in an instant gratification world where everything is happening right there and there. But relationships take time, right? It takes time. It takes you showing that you have good character, someone to trust and like you, right? So we have to keep that in mind, all right? We have to keep those things in mind. Does that make sense? Say yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is what I want to leave you with. This is from Howard Thurman. He was actually Martin Luther King's mentor. He said, ideal situation for a man and a woman to die and have their family members surrounded around them. But imagine, if you will, surrounding you while you're on your deathbed is your dreams, your goals, your talents, your gifts given to you by life. And for whatever reason, you didn't manifest those dreams. You didn't bring those goals to life. You didn't show those abilities. And they're standing around you with angry eyes saying, we came to you. We came to you. And only you could have given us life. But now, we have to go to the cemetery. Which, and I ask you this while you're on this campus. What dreams, if you was to pass on, would be left untold? What goals? What ideas for your organization, for your team that you have, that you're holding on to, that you should be sharing and getting ideas on how to grow yourself physically and mentally. I encourage each and every one of you to tap into that, and know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. There's greatness inside each and every one of you. And I pray that you take the daily challenge of becoming that passionate visionary and able to take something from what I just shared today. And in any way that I can help, however that may look, you can plug and pick on how I can help you or assist you. I'm here for you. Find me on social media. I challenge every one of you to do that. At Chaz Action Speaks. If it's placed on your heart to check out my book, Live, Learn, Lead Powerfully, a lot of things that I talked about today is in that book. And I just want to be a vessel for you. I want to see each and every one of you succeed and graduate and do what your heart calls you to do. Any way I can help you on your journey, I'm here for you. I just want to open up the floor for the next few minutes. I know we're running over a little time here, but any questions about the talk or anything I can help with right now? What do you got for me? Anybody? Good? All right. So, okay.
What would you think would be your first step? Like to just starting out, you're gonna try to pitch your life, what is your first step?
My first step will go back to the first bullet point that I said, love and value yourself. Remember that oxygen mask. Like, you trying to focus and pour into someone else before yourself, you set yourself okay, just making sure you're okay. And the first step is dreaming big with small goals. Don Maxwell said something here. He said, write your goals in concrete. I thought this was powerful. And one of his books was Become a Person of Influence. That would be an awesome book by Don Maxwell. If you are a leader, however the case may be, being an influencer, becoming a person of influence is what this comes out of. But he said, write your goals in concrete, but your plans in the sand. Meaning, have your ultimate goals. Where do you want to go? Where are your values? Write things down. But also know how I originally started out this talk was, things might not go the way that you planned at the beginning stages. When I mean write your goals in the sand, have you ever been to the beach? Have you ever wrote something in the sand and when a wave comes up, it knocks everything away? So we have to be willing to be optimistic. We have to be willing to take those plans and know that it might not work out the way that you plan to work out. But what is one of those, that last clause, I think, consistency. Being consistent. Start small. Start small. Like, you see a lot of people that have goals to lose weight, right? They have this ultimate goal, and then they want to go and do the workout out of the magazine. And then a lot of times that's sabotaged because they start out so big, but let's just start out walking first. Let's walk. Once we build a consistent habit of walking, then maybe let's add, push-ups or squats. Getting that consistency in place, because what consistency does is it builds your confidence. So if I was starting out, I would always start small and just write my plans in the sand, be gentle with myself, and just keep being consistent on what you're going after. Hopefully that helps. Yes, sir.
So obviously when a person motivates somebody, you hope that the person gets motivated. But when there's doubters, some people claim that doubters also fuel their energy to be motivated. So with you, have you ever had doubters in your life that motivated you to do something that you should be doing?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Being a speaker at doubters, Chaz. Because me, I'm more of an introvert guy. I'm not a guy that just be hoorah. I'm not the first to jump up and start talking. So having that demeanor, a lot of people say, man, and obviously being in the scope of doing something new in your environment. In my family, no one else is doing what I'm doing. So whenever I share what I want to do as being a speaker, they look at me like I'm crazy, like it's foreign, because no one else did it, right? So that creates doubt. That creates people nobody in our family write books, Chaz. Nobody. When that idea came and I shared it with my mom, I'm honest truth. She told me, she was like, write a book. Ain't nobody ever done that in my family before. She said, you know, so that's doubt, you know. But what you have to get to a point, and what works for me is knowing to surround myself around people with a vision of my future and not just a common past, a common vision of the future and not just a common past. Meaning surround yourself around people that have the ultimate ideas and visions that you have to help fuel you, but at the same time, knowing that I do have this doubt, and once you do make it, it's going to break chains. It's going to break chains. You know, obviously, I broke a lot of chains because we published a book that shows my children, my nephews, and nieces back home that, hey, if Uncle Chaz can do it, I can do it. You know, so using that as fuel, knowing like, hey, they say I can't do it, but once I do it, if they're meant to be in my life, they will come along the way. So a lot of times, you know, God can create doors for us, and we want to carry people through that door, but it's not the time to carry them through the door. You know, you have to walk through that door yourself, fully equip yourself, surround yourself around people. I call my book Fruitful Champions, right? People that's fueling you, have a common vision of the future, and just keeping you grounded, you know? And again, once that time comes, you'll be able to, they'll be able to see you, you'll be able to go back and be able to show them that it is possible. If that makes sense. So, hope that answers your question. Any other questions? You guys are good? Yeah, like I said, please reach out to me, Facebook,